9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
From New Jersey, the timeless elite one, Stone Cold Courtney Rice.
I have a lot to say. You wretched little bitch!
I never get tired of my intro. It is Wednesday. You know what that means? It's AEW Dynamite. And we have a special treat because we are going to be in Chicago for the next 2 to 3 weeks because they kick off their residency in Chicago, continuing the fallout from All In Texas. And we see Tony Schiavone out in the ring. And we are going to introduce with the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. So we are going to kick it off with him. But he's also going to be in action tonight. He's going to be in trios action, teaming alongside Mark Briscoe and Powerhouse Hobbs to take on the Death Riders. So there is going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem happening there. We're also going to see my client, the timeless one, Toni Storm, after getting a victory over the CEO, Mercedes Moné. And she will be having a victory speech, and very curious on where does she go from here. We're also going to have, and this was just added too, we're going to have a 8-person tag match. The Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito, Jet Speed, Brody King taking on Josh Alexander, Hiserio, and the Young Bucks, because as you know, they don't have the titles of EVPs no more. We're also going to have a 100K 4-way fight that features the ladies, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, the Toxic Spider Tekla, and Queen Aminata. Kazuchika Okada will be in action. Mascara Dorada will be taking on Kyle Fletcher, the Aussie protostar. We're also going to hear from the returning Adam Copeland, who made his return this past weekend, surprisingly enough, helping out Christian. So we're going to hear what Hangman Adam Page has to say, being the new champion. And this is the first time in months we've seen the AEW title belt. And the fans are chanting, "You deserve it." Yep, the fans are chanting, "You deserve it." Hello, Eric Tate. Thank you for joining on Thomas Elite Wednesday. Shout out to Eddie Foster. Thank you for joining. And of course, Boza. Yes. For Death to Dishonor. Bandino versus Hechicero. The fans are chanting, "We deserve it." It's going to be very interesting.
You are the ones who supported a grassroots, do-it-yourself approach to pro wrestling. And you all were the ones that started a revolution to change the world. You reason that we are here. You all are the reason for all elite wrestling. So I want you to know that as you watch us every week, scratching and crawling and dreaming of a moment like I have tonight, I want you to know that we just don't do it for this championship. In actuality, we do all of this because of you.
I just hope this reign is better than his first time he was champion. That's all I want. I just hope it's better. Oh, they're saying thank you, Hangman. They're saying thank you. That's so.
So I do want to say that you do deserve this. You deserve to see this championship. And you deserve to have someone to hold it and to carry it and who understands that connection. And someone who has more gratitude for all of you than you could ever know. On Saturday at All In a Texas death match, I didn't just walk into a battle, but I walked into a war. 100 battles around me that have been going on for 9 months now to free this championship. And some of the people who fought in that war have not come out of it the same. So tonight I do need to say thank you to all of them, not just for Saturday, but for all of them. I need to say thank you to Orange Cassidy.
Yay! You made my client Orange Cassidy! Yay! He'll be back soon. He will be back. He'll be back soon. Oh, Switchblade Jay White. And he'll be back soon. Adam Copeland. Okay, the Ops. This is where it gets very tricky. Can't forget about Danielson. Can't forget about Darby. And you can't forget about Ospreay and Swerve. Save them for last.
And I need to say thank you to someone who, when I was in the ring with him at Double or Nothing, reminded me why I love professional wrestling and made me excited for the future that AEW has in front of it. Someone who did not get to walk out of All In on his own volition. Someone who paid the price for this moment. I need to say thank you to Will Ospreay.
Yeah, you gotta thank you to Will Ospreay. And there's one person he has to thank. One person. One more. You can hear the fans chanting for Swerve.
Whether he helps for himself, or he helps for AEW, or for one small moment, he decides me. But I will say to Swerve Strickland, thank you.
See? Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. That's all you need. Now the question is, what's next for Hangman? That's the question, because we got Forbidden Door on the horizon. Sunday, August 24th.
Say that makes me weak.
You can hear the boos from Moxley.
That makes me less of a man. But I want you to look at me. I have a wife and 2 kids who love me. I have thousands and millions of people watching AEW fans who can look to me and who can respect me. And if you want to know what kind of man I am, you can look at me tonight. Because I am the champion of...
Well, that was interesting, Unfiltered. Woo! Wow. Interesting way to kick off AEW Dynamite, but this won't be the last time you see Hangman Adam Page, because he will be in action later tonight in the main event, teaming up with Powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Briscoe to take on the Death Riders. And I can imagine there's a lot of chaos. Most of that is true. I don't think Moxley with the title on. I think he is done. I think it's more than just a title. It's trying to take back supremacy within AEW. That's the thing. I think it's more than just the AEW title. Also, with the fact too, we as they're showing highlights of AEW All in Texas, it's AEW's highest attended North American event. AEW fans from 50 states. So it's available right now on Amazon Prime. Also, make sure to watch my 6-hour watch along of All in Texas. It was very fun to do. So much happened. And yeah, there was a lot. It was a lot that happened. But yeah, it's just pretty much after where we go from here. And hopefully we get to see some of that. Also, with the fact too, for the Casino Gauntlet, for the women's, Athena won. So really excited to see what's next for her, as her being the Forever Ring of Honor champion. I'm pretty sure she may have to defend that title at Death Before Dishonor in Philadelphia. Against who? I don't know. But I could see her defending that title at that upcoming Ring of Honor event. Also, yeah, we have MJF winning the males gauntlet, Casino Gauntlet for the men. So I'm pretty sure he probably has some tricks anytime, any place, anywhere. But like I said, they're just showing the highlights of All in Texas, and it was, like I said, it was just a fun event that I got to see. I ain't complaining. It's the biggest show of the year. If they want to do 6 hours, 7 hours, hey, I can't knock them for that, but it really did. And also very curious on what stories they're going to say. I am going to keep on saying this. Tony Khan, if you're listening, please incorporate a lot more storylines in your women's division. Please, let's have a women's match main event, a pay-per-view. You guys say you're all about changing the world. I'm going to keep on saying this. I hope people don't complain about it. I know, right? Well, Bosa, to be fair, I mean, you're always going to have all those narcs in the world that complain about everything because Professor said this in a clip that was 2-3 years ago. Fans are not satisfied on what they want. They don't even know exactly what they want when it comes to wrestling. But I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. But like I said, I'm going to keep preaching on this. I will preach on WWT. And Dylan, you're going to be getting a lot of clips from me. Tony Khan, you need to make a women's match a main event on a pay-per-view. And you need to do it by next year at Wembley Stadium. Because there's a lot of storylines you can incorporate that don't have to involve the AEW women's title or the TBS title. I'm just saying. Hi, Roland. Thank you for joining on this watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday with me. We just kicked off with the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page, where he thanked everybody throughout the journey of the Death Riders, from my client, Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy, to Jay White, to Adam Copeland, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, Swerve Strickland, the Ops. So, oh, and what's this? Hold on, what's this? So technically, the Young Bucks, they're not the UBBs anymore, and they had to do a rental car. So they have to do that. I don't know why they're walking the Hall of Shame. I mean, you lost, but they will be in that All-Star 8-man tag team match. But we are kicking off with the OC Protostar Kyle Fletcher against Mascara Dorada. And I'm kind of happy, and I'm very surprised that Creep Don Callis is not accompanying Kyle Fletcher. I know, Boza, that's what I said. We'll probably, oh, you know what? Boza, he's going to accompany Kazuchika Okada, because I wasn't sure if you got it earlier. He's scheduled to be in action, so I'm sure Don Callis will be accompanying him to ringside. I'm just saying. So that's just a little bit, but they are showing what happened with the TNT Championship Fatal 4-Way match. As we know, Adam Cole had to relinquish the title due to a serious health concern that happened hours before the show. And then it turned into a Fatal 4-Way match between Kyle, Dustin, Sammy, and Daniel Garcia. And soon enough, Dustin Rhodes is now the new TNT champion. And a little fact, this is his first taste of singles gold in AEW. So congratulations to Dustin. I'm very excited to watch this match. And I mean, I celebrated on... I know I did a lot of celebrating on Sunday and Monday, but whoo! I gotta do a lot of celebrating. Woohoo! It's just a lovely day in the timeless, tenacious empire. That's what I'm going to call my group. The timeless, tenacious empire. It's just a wonderful day. Tony Storm retaining, even though my other two clients, Caster and Bowens, did not have somewhat of a great night on the men's casino gauntlet. But I saw something brewing with those two, which I will talk about a little bit later. I remember FTK saying Saturday because that little creep got involved. Well, okay. Well, that's good. At least they're going to have the Continental Classic back. Because I would think it would be the rules. So, but here we go. We see, and you can see by Kyle Fletcher's face, he is not very happy, which I don't blame him. But he's kicking off. Oh! I spoke too soon. There's that creep at ringside. And Lance Archer. I guess I spoke too soon. Oh god, now I have to see that creep twice. This match and when Okada comes out. So yay. Eric Tate. How come AEW is in a ballroom? So Eric Tate, since this is probably one of your first few times, because I've seen you pop up in my watch along. just to let you know, AEW kicks off their residency in Chicago. Will they be there for the next 2 to 3 weeks? And this is actually at the Aragon Ballroom. I love that they're going back to smaller venues, and it does give them an opportunity to really kind of, after All In, kind of get their bodies in motion. Also, explore Chicago. There are a few people from the AEW realm that live in Chicago, and plus it does open a lot of media opportunities for them, especially one city and probably places that they've never been. So it's really nice that they have a residency. I'm very excited when they come back to Philadelphia because it's a really great opportunity for them, especially if they haven't explored Philly as much when they came in Dynasty earlier this year. It does give an opportunity to branch out, media opportunities, and really do a little bit of sightseeing in the city of brotherly love because, for me, since I live closer to Philly, it does bring out a lot of good opportunity for them. Alrighty, so nice move by Kyle Fletcher. So feel free. What do you guys got in the chat? Hi, Tommy T. Thank you for joining on this watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday. Who do you guys got in this first match? Do you have the Aussie Protocol Kyle Fletcher, or do you have Mascara Dorada? And just to let you know, I'm watching on TBS, and this is like in picture-in-picture. I'm watching it for picture-in-picture, but the match is still going on. Also, friendly reminder, Shark Week is right around the corner. This is like old school. Yeah, I know. It's so cool. I like how it's grid. Yes, Tommy T, we do like that as well. We do like that. And happy to be with all of you on this Wednesday. We continue the fallout. From All in Texas. It's just crazy. Oh, sorry. I'm so much happening in the world of. There's just so much happening in the world of wrestling. It's like insanity. So much has happened. So much, but nice move by Kyle Fletcher. Are you happy the Young Bucks are no longer EVPs? Okay, so I'm gonna be very honest. I actually had the Young Bucks winning that match because I was thinking of storytelling and everything else, but it's gonna be very interesting to see them stripped away as EVPs because I did find them kind of annoying and really much favoring the heels, and I want to see them get a taste of their own medicine when you take away that power. So I'm very intrigued on that, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be so fun. But I get to see them walk the Hall of Shame. That's all I want. I just want to see them walk the Hall of Shame. But I'm looking at the match because even though I'm in picture-in-picture, I'm looking at this match, and Kyle Fletcher seems to be having the edge. Of course, that creep wants to get involved, but it's gonna be very interesting regarding the TNT Championship match because if you saw what happened after the match, Sammy looked a little bit displeased after Dustin winning. And just a quick note, we are back live with our first match of AEW Dynamite, the Aussie protostar Kyle Fletcher taking on Mascara Dorada. And of course, we do have that creep Don Callis at ringside along with Lance Archer. So Kyle Fletcher is starting to continue building momentum after his incredible performance he had in the TNT Championship Fatal 4-Way match. I'm sure we're going to see him in the Raw because he is overdue for some gold. Yeah, I know, Boza. He feels better with that little creep at ringside. And trust me, it's not the last time we're going to see Don Callis because, as I mentioned, he will probably be there during Kazuchika Okada's match because he will be in action later tonight after winning the Unified Championship match from Kenny Omega. Nice move by Mascara. What's he gonna do here? Ooh, nice move! That was such a nice move by Mascara Dorada. Sons of Texas Daniel. Yeah, you gotta give them their flowers. You gotta give all four of those guys those flowers, especially finding out in the hours before Adam Cole announced his injury. That speaks volumes and the trust that they have for all four of those guys. And also, I gotta give credit to the Sons of Texas doing triple duty, wrestling in Ring of Honor Supercard for the tag team titles against the Infantry, wrestling on 0 Hour alongside the Von Erichs against Shane Taylor Promotions, and on the main card for the TNT Championship Fatal 4-Way match. I have to give kudos and flowers to them. So everybody did their part. So proud of them. Also, I'm very excited to see what is next. What's going to be next? But they're just going through some of the stuff action that's happening tonight on AEW Dynamite, as I mentioned. Also, feel free to put in the channel, what are you excited to see on AEW Dynamite tonight? I mean, of course, outside of the ladies and my client, Tony Storm, I'm very excited to see Adam Copeland come back because I'm very curious on what he has to say from this past weekend. Also, what's next for the AEW World Title picture? What is going to be the next route? Very curious on that. And pretty much the landscape has changed. It's just pretty much seeing what's going to be the next step. Because, of course, they have Forbidden Door. They have everything else. And, oh, hold on for a minute. Mascara Dorado, what's he going to do here? Ooh, 450 splash. Perfect. Kick out made by Kyle Fletcher. That 8-man with Bandino. Yep, that's going to be a crazy 8-man tag team match. That is going to be nuts. And also with the fact, too, with Jet Speed, it can continue their momentum, especially in the tag team title realm. I know people don't see them seriously as contenders, but just need to keep building that. Also, very curious on what the tag team picture is going to look like because we kind of saw a little bit happen over the weekend with the triple threat where FTR looked like they want to be next in line for those belts. Obviously, of course, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage reuniting again, which it is a possibility. Not a Forbidden Door. It's going to be at All Out in Toronto. And I would not be shocked if that was the main event. I would not be shocked if that one, because that's like, you got to make that a big, 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 big deal. Oh, Kyle Fletcher hit his head on one of the turnbuckles. And that was a nasty, nasty hit. Here comes Mascara. Ooh, nice moves up. Kyle Fletcher caught him. Ooh, Mascara hit. I got hit with the turnbuckle. Kyle Fletcher looks like he's going to end this right here. Sheer drop. Your winner of the match is Kyle Fletcher, and he looks determined and serious. That's your winner, Kyle Fletcher. Oh, well, Kyle Fletcher, he's calling out Dustin Rhodes, and Tony Schiavone put us some news that AEW Collision will be back on Saturday live, where we will hear from the new TNT champion, Dustin Rhodes. Oh boy, that's going to be fun. And oh my god, so here's this from earlier today with the Young Bucks, because they got their title shift to EVPs and they're kind of showing Renee. There's Renee. Well, they're trying to. I think I would not underestimate them. I feel like they have tricks up their sleeve. And there's Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir looks at them. Oh boy! And look at the locker room. What? Oh my god! Is that the locker room? Is it a bathroom? There's Ricochet in the Gates of Agony. Even Ricochet in the Gates of Agony are making fun of them. And Ricochet's a heel. Oh, and there's Don Callis. Well, it looks like there's a little bit of alliance between the Don Callis family and the Young Bucks. I think because with the fact they pretty much took out Kenny Omega out of the picture. With her heel face. I would say they drove everybody nuts. I don't know about that. There's a few heels that favored the Young Bucks. There was a few heels. I'm just shocked with Ricochet because he's a heel. And wasn't he aligned with the Death Riders? And look at Marina Shafir. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean you don't know what to expect from the Don Callis family, because I think this is going to be very interesting with the Young Bucks, since even though they're not EVPs anymore, I do think they will probably have some kind of power. I don't know, but we shall see, and it will be very interesting to watch. Very, very interesting. But thank you guys for doing it with me, your timeless elite, your PR princess, whatever you want to call me. Stone Cold Courtney has been with you on this wonderful edition of Timeless Elite Wednesday, and it's past 8:30. And where is the time gone? Because I get to spend it with all of you on a Wednesday. And also make sure to check out WWT Live earlier. It was myself and Boss Lady, because we've been holding it down because the rest of our team members, life happens. You got to make lemons out of lemonade, and they're doing a little bit of summer, which we all should enjoy some time in the summer. And that's always good to have. But hopefully we'll have the whole crew back soon, because I could just imagine a lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem. So it would be fun to have the whole crew back again. Thanks for bringing us. Oh, thank you, Rosa, for that. Yes, the next 2 to 3 weeks we will be in the residency of Chicago. So, and it actually makes it a lot more easy because their one residency is just, it gives their bodies enough time to rest because, after All In, everybody wants some rest. So I'm pretty sure, even though we're not going to see everybody, I mean, Samoa Joe got hurt, Will Ospreay got hurt. I'm pretty sure we'll see some of the other top tier stars rotating a bit from like Dynamite to Collision, and then maybe next week we can have a little bit of a rotation there. Don't they have 2 residencies before? So Boza, they don't have a residency before Forbidden Door. This is the residency of Chicago. The next residency that they have in Philly is after Forbidden Door. So once Forbidden Door is wrapped up, they head to Philadelphia and they start their residency there. So I'm very excited to go. I'm trying to talk with Boss Lady and see if we can go to Forbidden Door. Oh my God, Forbidden Door. The Philadelphia residency for AEW, because it does look like really fun. And I'm not sure if I can do all 9 shows. That's a bit of a stretch. I'm going to see. I want to do a Dynamite, a Collision, and obviously definitely want to do a Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor. And we're also going to hear from the Casino Gauntlet winner, MJF, along with the Hurt Syndicate. It's funny, MVP says he hasn't been threatened yet, but didn't almost everybody that you faced with the Titans that would beat the crap out of you last week? It's funny he's begging. Jeez.
You winning, no, see, I got everything to prove there. To you hypocritical fans think you're a good guy, that think you're the best. The newsflash, hey man, you're not the best. I'm the best. I'm the best. Neither are. And I do not need this to beat you. I am going to beat you clean in the middle of my ring for my world championship. This right here is a great laugh in case of emergency. I know right now you're on fire.
Well, to be fair, MJF did beat Hangman at Revolution earlier this year. To be fair. So he pretty much doesn't need a contract, to be honest. And he's also getting ready for Happy Gilmore too, ladies and gentlemen. He will be on Happy Gilmore. Yeah, they're still the tag team champions. I know. Hi, Lionel Clark. Thank you for joining on my watch along for Timeless Elite Wednesday. And yes, they just have to do rotations. Like, doesn't have to be the same stars like for those couple days, but just rotate it and create storylines out of it. MVP is a hypocrite. He forgot his men had to turn back Jet Speed and Patriarchy. Well, yeah, it's funny how he says, where are the tag teams? Because you ran through almost every single person, or with the facts, he doesn't take them very seriously. And also with the fact too, sooner or later, they're going to have to face FTR, because after that encounter that they had this past week, it's a possibility somewhere down the line they're going to have to face them. And also with the fact too, because I know people are kind of preaching, oh, well, Ospreay and Cedric Strickland, but I'd rather for it to be a tag team, more specifically a homegrown tag team. But we'll talk about that later. But here are the... Oh, no! They took away their entrance! Oh, my God! Who did their entrance video? Who did their entrance video? Come on. Oh my God. They used to be AEW. Oh my god. This is so hilarious. I just can't. Oh boy. This is going to be fun to watch. I'm going to like this. Even if it's just for a matter of time. I know. They're very in spirit. Oh my god. Yeah, I know. I bet Nana, bro. Exactly. But here comes Jet Speed. And I actually, you know what? I do like this tag team. Even though my clients claim they're not together as of right now, I do like Jet Speed. They are fun to watch. And here comes the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandino. I have to say this because I watched Supercard of Honor in its entirety. And this is my second time watching a pay-per-view event for Ring of Honor. Takeshita and Bandino was one of the best wrestling matches I have ever seen. Not in a while, but one of the best wrestling matches I've seen in 2025. That match, they took it to the limit, and I was so proud to see both of them. I really thought Takeshita was going to win, but Bandino picked up the victory. And we now know Hechicero is on deck. But Bandino has been doing a really great job being the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion. He did so well. And also, we get to see Brody! Bandino, I don't think anybody's done with that family of the Don Callis, but oh my god, I love the handshake between Bandino and Brody. And it sucks because Buddy Matthews is still injured. But Brody has been doing well on his own. He's been on his own 2 feet. Very excited to see him. And I'm pretty sure, and hopefully we get to see him back at the Continental Classic later this year. I'm very curious on what they're going to do with Darby Allin next because he jumped from Mount Everest. I think we may see him in the main event, Darby Allin. I'm just very curious. I'm very curious on what the main event is going to be at Forbidden Door. Like, what's it going to look like? Because also with the fact, too, they're in partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling. And also, apparently Gabe Kidd is associated with the Death Riders. So, that's also another layer as well. But we could talk about that throughout the night. We have an 8-man all-star tag team match. We have Josh Alexander, Hechicero of the Don Callis family, and the Young Bucks taking on Brody King, Bandino, Jet Speed. Oh dear God, I just realized I have to listen to Don Callis on commentary? Ew. So this will be 3 times I get to hear Don Callis. Ew. Oh boy. You would think I would celebrate tonight, but I gotta listen to this group. Yeah, he's at Covenant. He just have to be. Yeah, I know. We still have Okada in action later tonight. So yeah, we get to see him 3 times. What's the Young Bucks doing? Josh Alexander was trying to make a tag, but that's really funny that the Young Bucks said they don't trust Don Callis, which is very odd because you would think heels would trust each other, but I guess not. I guess not in a way. Also, because I didn't even wish this earlier, we have a few birthdays. We have a few birthdays happening today. So definitely want to give a shout out to Anna J. Her birthday was yesterday. Speedball Mike Bailey's birthday is today. And Bobby Lashley's birthday is today. And also Excalibur's birthday is today. So want to give a shout out and happy birthday. And also feel free to throw in the chat, throw some cakes, and candles and flowers to send happy birthday wishes to all of them because they deserve it. And also, what better way to celebrate your birthday than be in the Windy City of Chicago? So going back to this match, it's Hechicero and Bandino. Tag is made to Speedball Mike Bailey from Bandino. Tag is made again to Kevin Knight. I actually do like them as a tag team. They just need to develop a lot of chemistry. I love it. And here comes the Young Bucks. I will say, Don Callis, you said the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team in tag team history because I can name of another tag team that is a lot more better than they are, and if they were not in existence, you would have not gotten the Young Bucks. So that's a lot of debate right there because I would not put the Young Bucks above the Hardys. And there's so many other I guess it depends on what tag team visit and generations, but like I just can't put the Young Bucks above the Hardys only because when I think of like tag teams to success, I always think of not just in ring but also outside of the ring, and also possibly doing mainstream opportunities, and also a lot of them have had the chance to do outreach within their communities, which is awesome to do. So it kind of like goes a balance. And also, if it wasn't for the Hardys, you would have not got the Young Bucks. You would have not gotten Froxium. You would have not gotten Private Party. So you have to give kudos. And I think at one point the Young Bucks said they have idolized the Hardy Boys. Oh, nice move. I can't deny them on the wrestling ability, but they're still obnoxious. They're still obnoxious. So I wish AEW can do a show at Center Stage in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, it's funny, Eric Tate, you mentioned that because I know a couple months ago they were in Atlanta. And I forget what arena it was, but I know they are in Atlanta for earlier this year. And I'm happy they did make the switch from going to smaller venues because, of course, they had to think about the revenue, the cost, everything else. And it has worked out for them because it does feel like a lot of fans are filling up with the smaller venues, which I love. So hopefully we get to see that. But it's just a live and learn for them. This is something they're going to have to learn. And especially since they're going to be in Chicago for the next 2 weeks, it does give them an opportunity to sit down and reflect on everything that's happened with All in Texas and figure out what worked, what didn't work, and what we can do better. Also, like I said, getting a reset on your women's division, reset on your tag team division, what direction you want to go with this unified title, along with the TNT title. A lot of different directions figuring out, but I would like to get into the headset of Tony Khan inside his brain because I want to think on what it is really thinking about. So that's just me. Well, even though this it's on commercial and on picture in picture, but I am still getting the match. So we see Josh Alexander taking the tag to Histerio onto Kevin Knight. And you kind of knew this is going to be a good match either way. Because anytime you have these types of wrestlers week in, week out, it's always going to be fun to watch. But we are back alive with the All-Star 8-Man Tag Team match. We have the Young Bucks teaming up with members of the Don Callis family, Hechicero and Josh Alexander, to take on Jet Speed, Ring of Honor champion Bandino, and Brody King. And of course, we have that creep Don Callis at ringside. But what can you do? What can you do? But it looks like Kevin Knight and Hechicero are blowing in some punches in the ring. And also feel free to put in the channel who you guys got winning this match. Do you have the Young Bucks, Hechicero, and Josh Alexander? Or do you have Jet Speed, Bandino, and Brody King winning this match? Tag is made. Oh, they can't say EVP anymore because they used to say EVP trigger. They're so used to saying EVP trigger. Oh, look at Kevin Knight. Tag is made to Speedball. Oof, drop kick. I don't know how he wrestles barefoot because I would be losing my mind and I would be so scared if I stubbed my toe. But those kicks. Ooh, nice move by Speedball. Ooh, nice move by Speedball. That man is fast. I don't know why, but Speedball reminds me a little bit of Sonic the Hedgehog, because Sonic would go so fast. If you ever played Sonic the Hedgehog video games, he would go so fast. And that's who Speedball reminds me of. I will say this is where the synergy comes in with the Young Bucks. Can't deny him for matches. And they pulled out a lot of banger matches since coming to AEW. Ooh, nice move by Speedball. Tag is made to Hechicero. And here comes Brody. Here comes Brody King. Oh, double clothesline by Brody. Oh my goodness. It is definitely a fun one so far. And it's really fun, especially after one of their biggest pay-per-views, all in Texas. Is he gonna do the cannonball, Brody King? What's Brody thinking here? Oh, Brody King went over the top rope, but tag is made to Bandino. What are they gonna do here? Good tag team work. What? Oh my god! Oh, incredible move by Bandino! I just love watching him on TV. He's so fun to watch. What is Jet Speed gonna do here? Oh, nice move. I do love the synergy that they have with those two. Oh my god. That was a similar move he made to Takeshita last week. Kick out made by both the Young Bucks. Here comes Brody. Oh, good. Another super kick. Double super kick. Nice hard kick by Mike Bailey. Miscommunication right there by the Young Bucks. Ooh, super kick right there. Kevin Knight. Ooh, another super kick. Super kicks all around. Miscommunication. Bandito. Ooh. Is Bandito going to go with here? What's Bandito going to do here? Because this is the same move he did with Takeshita. Going for it, but stop by. Oh my goodness. This has to be it. Ooh, double super kick. Hechicero, that has to be it. Yeah, so Hechicero ended up he defeated the Ring of Honor World Champion Bandito. And as I mentioned, this is gonna lead to Death Before Dishonor happening in September. But the winners of the match is Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks. But up next, we're gonna hear from Adam Copeland after his return. And yes, Bozo, we're gonna hear from him. I know it stinks. But I think after this, he's going to be 3-0 because we're going to see Okada a little bit later tonight. So who knows where that's going to go. Who knows? So he'll probably, after tonight, 3-0. And also, it does continue the momentum building between the Young Bucks and the Don Callis family because there seems to be a little bit of a... it just you have to continue the storyline as it is, keeping the momentum between the Young Bucks and the Don Callis family afloat. I know, but he's gonna have his moments. Let him have their fun. Let them have their fun. They'll be fine. Yep, let them just let them have their fun. That's all I don't. Oh, but it has been a fun night, and and it's hard to believe we're at the final hour, 9:00. Oh my god, where is the time gone? Where's the time gone? It's just... oh my goodness. It's just like I said, it's gonna be very interesting seeing them not be EVPs. It's gonna be an interesting road. And also, it's hard to believe we're at the 9:00 hour. We're at the final hour of Timeless Elite Wednesday with me. But it has been a fun night, and do want to thank everybody. Oh, a question from Eric Tate. Do you like tonight's pay-per-views? This is always an interesting question when it comes to 2 nights because sometimes it can be a hit or miss. And also it depends on what matches are being put into play, stories are being put into play, and also the cost. it can be a little hectic with doing it in 2 nights because you have to figure out like what is going to be the bang for your buck. And I'm looking at this from like a PR strategist, and I worked in PR media for a while, but it's always a little bit. It's like I like it, but at the same time, it can be a little bit hard to watch. I mean, of course, WrestleMania, it's in 2 nights. We're gonna have our first 2 nights SummerSlam, so it's a possibility. But like I said, Boza, Adam Copeland. I want to say yes, but I could be wrong because he says he's looking for competition. And yes, you have Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. FTR is another option, but of course Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. But also there is another team that sooner or later they're going to reunite. But let's hear what Adam Copeland has to say after his return at All in Texas. He has the mic in his hands, and let's see what he has to say. Oh my goodness. The entire city of Chicago is reciting his theme song word for word. Even without no music. Yep. Yes. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. But if you ever saw Grand Slam Australia, that was nuts. That was completely nuts doing it in Australia. It was just like chills. Oh, it's going to be a fun residency in Chicago. That is the $1 million question. Oh my god! Did he just say what I thought he said? I think Christian tried to make everybody's lives miserable. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Mm. Really? He wants his hands on FTR. Oh yeah, 5 years ago. That was 2020. And I remember that because he came back for that Royal Rumble match. He said edgeheads. That is crazy. He said edgeheads. Well, we know where this is going. And speaking of FTR, oh yeah, and they have that weasel, Stokely, and of course they have security. Oh wait, not FTR. They have that weasel, Stokely, and security behind him. Yep, Jose, exactly. Don't trust that little weasel. I just want one of these days. I just want Tony Schiavone just to shove Stokely for once after what he done to him. That's all I want for Tony Schiavone. Tony Schiavone to do. Just shove Stokely. I just want him to. I just want him to push him. Telling Stokely to shut the F up. I love it. Love it. Yeah. Spike's a liability. Tony Khan receiving 3 anonymous emails. Okay. So pretty much, if he lays his hands on any members of FTR, he's fired. Yeah, he can write the checks. Mm-hmm. Telling him to go find a hobby, okay? Ooh, that is true. He did say that. Stokely, you better run. Security guard members are running. Oh my goodness. No way. Oh! I knew that was going to happen! Oh my god! Oh god! Yep, Boza, you're right because I said this during WWT Live. They are building Adam and Christian taking on FTR for All Out because All Out this year will be in Toronto, Canada. So I would not. I would think if that's going to be one of their biggest matches at All Out, that has to be the main event. Has to be the main event. No ifs, ands, or buts. But as I said, still to come is the trios match main event tonight. Hangman Adam Page, Mark Briscoe, and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Death Riders. It's going to be very interesting. I can imagine a lot of chaos. I can imagine a lot of mayhem in that match. And we are going to hear from Mark Briscoe. Hi, Maria. Thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday. Mark! Oh, Mark! Mark. Woo! Mark Briscoe. He is a treasure. Do not get rid of him. And it looks like he's still not done with MJF, which is good because at least he has some side quests happening. And oh yes, I mean obviously it has to because it's in Toronto, and I can see it being in the main event. But switching gears, we have the ladies happening. We have the Toxic Spider, Tekla, Queen Amanada, Willow Nightingale, and Chris Statlander in a 100K Fatal 4-Way match. Pretty much, if you win, you get 100K. But somebody's going to be going home richer. And, you know, it's in Chicago. Why not? And here comes the Queen Amanada. I am so happy that she's getting a lot of TV time. I am so happy she is. Hi, Matthew. Matela, thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday with me, your WWT PR princess, Stone Cold Courtney, whatever you want to call me. I am happy to be with all of you, and it's 9:16. Shockingly enough, it's not 9:30. I'm very curious on why he did it now, but but here comes Chris Statlander. I will say, even though Tony's and Mercedes was a really good women's match, and I know we did have the Casino Gauntlet match as the other women's match, but I was very happy to see the performance of all the ladies, and they surpassed the participants from the last Gauntlet match they had. I don't know if anybody from AEW is watching, but I'm really happy they did. And here comes Willow. I'm very curious on what's going to happen next because I feel like she does have unfinished business with Marina Shafir. Because I really wanted them to go one-on-one. I still, you know what? I'm not going to lose hope. I still believe they're going to have a match, her and Marina. It has to happen one-on-one. I believe it. I believe it's going to happen. When in doubt, throw money. I know. It's crazy. I mean, we had so many matches that involved money. It's like, huh? What? But, and actually, to be fair, this one actually does make sense because there is a lot of heat. There's a lot of bad blood between Tekla and Queen Amanada, along with Chris Statlander and Willow, because I don't know what's going on with Chris and Stat because she had interactions with Marina Shafir and that runt Wheeler Yuta and Moxley. I don't even know. But we shall see. But look at the power of Chris Statlander, former TBS champion. And also the female that held the #1 spot in both women's Casino Gauntlet matches. I just realized that. So that is a stat, no pun intended, to learn. Here comes Tekla and Queen Amanada. I know one thing. I'm very curious on who's going to take the pinfall. I'm very, very curious. Who is willing to take the pinfall? I know for Tekla, she can't because she just started, and I don't think she can deserve a loss. Queen Amanada is so hot right now, I don't think she can deserve a loss either. It's really hard because all 4 of these ladies can't lose, but somebody has to eat the pin. And also feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got in this Fatal 4-Way match. Do you have Queen Amanada, Willow, Tekla, or Chris Statlander? I would love for Queen Amanada to win. To be honest, I would actually love for her to get a win. That's kind of a response. In response to Stephanie's signature move. That's a response to Stephanie Cure's signature move. That's just too funny. All right, Boza picked Willow. I know I would pick Willow too, but I wouldn't mind seeing Queen Amanada win. I wouldn't be mad at who wins, to be honest. Ooh, nasty headbutt from the Queen. Ooh, Tekla. Ooh, she took out Queen Amanada. I'm very curious on how they're going to do it with. Ooh, nice high flying offense from Tekla. I'm very curious on how they're going to do with Jamie Hayter when she comes back. And it would be nice for her to have a match, considering Forbidden Door is in her home country. It is in her home country, by the way. But the match is in picture, but it's live. And I'm seeing Tekla putting a submission hold onto Miss Willow Nightingale. And whew, she can be scary. Tekla. She can be very scary. It's very interesting because it's almost 9:30, and where has the time gone? And we have a women's match right before 9:30, which is very interesting. But like I said, it's been very fun, and happy to spend it with all of you for these 2 hours. And also make sure to check out WWT Live earlier today. It was very, very fun with myself and Boss Lady, because we're holding down the fort because, you know, the rest of the team, life happens. You got to create lemons out of lemonade, but we're chugging it along, continuing to make sure we bring content to all of you. And obviously make sure to check out some of the watch-alongs and live streams we have around WWT. Also, make sure to check out the Kayfabe podcast with my siblings, Honey, Dion, and Will on Monday. It was a very fun episode there. Oh my God, episode 40. That's crazy. But continue supporting Kayfabe podcast because they're doing amazing, amazing work. Seriously, time flies when we are having fun. But we still, I know. You will hear me gloat. I didn't want to do it on WWT because I wanted to be like a lady. But like I said, we are back alive with this 100K Fatal 4-way match. Willow Nightingale, the Toxic Spider Tekla, Chris Statlander, Queen Amanada, and we are kicking off the first day of the residency in Chicago, Illinois. So AEW will be in Chicago for the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we're going to have some fun. And also, Bosa, don't forget, Kazuchika Okada will be in action as well. Can't forget about the Rainmaker. Oh my goodness. Look at Tekla with that flexibility and that supernatural force. It's like she just rose up from the dead. She is going to be something. And similar to Julia Hart. Similar to what Julia Hart does. You better let Tekla and Queen Amanada go into a series of 7. Please. You need to let them go in a series of 7. I don't care. Yeah, Honey, Councilman and Dion did a great job, Honey. No, it's okay. I mean, I know 3 hours was a bit of a stretch because there was a lot that happened over the weekend. Oh my goodness. She's walking like a spider with that flexibility. It's like she's transit. She's in a trance. She's going to be somebody. Well, Eric Tate, that is true. Obviously, the winner does need a title shot, but I'm very curious on what they're going to do next, not with Tony's title, but also what they're going to do with the TBS title, because that is held by Mercedes Moné, and she's at the 400-day mark. And also, I would not be shocked if she's trying to break Jade's record, because she's almost there. Headbutt made by Queen Aminata. I just gotta give a shout out to all these ladies. They're just putting in the work. Tony Khan, you gotta put more ladies on your television screen. You can't just cover them into fatal four-ways and 8-woman tag matches. Not to mention creating storylines for your women's division. And I'm going to keep saying this week after week. Even if I need Dylan to tag me in it. You need to have more storylines within your women's division. Here we go. Stat, Willow, Tekla, and Queen Aminata. Yeah, honestly, Tekla and Queen Aminata need like a series of 7. They need at least a series of matches. Heck, I wouldn't even care if one of their matches was at Forbidden Door. Babe with the plan! Ooh, the referee. She took Aubrey out! Why'd you take Aubrey? Chris Statlander took out Aubrey. Oh, man. These two ladies are going in the back. And I will say this is unfinished business between these two ladies. Queen Aminata, what's she doing? She better take call and ooh, kick out by Tekla. I really thought Queen Aminata was going to get the win. Actually, I wouldn't care what lady wins. I'm just happy to see some of the ladies. Oh, and here comes Sky Blue. And Sky Blue is from Chicago. And there's Julia Hart. Oh! Julia Hart missed her! How you gonna miss the queen like that? And also, apparently, there's unfinished business between Sky Blue and Julia Hart. And the winner of this match of the 100K is Tekla. And that's good because it protects her undefeated streak. Not to mention, it protects Willow and Chris Statlander because those two got some business. I really thought Marina Shafir was going to come out during that match. But whew, Julia Hart sprayed the mist onto Queen Aminata. And it looks like there seems to be a mutual alliance between Tekla, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue, which is very interesting. But up next, we go from one lady to another. Up next, we have my client, still AEW Women's Champion, Toni Storm. I just have to say this. There are a lot of things I could gloat about this. I could go on and on, but I can gloat about this because, there's been a lot of people that have been saying some interesting things about my client, Toni Storm. But she really pulled off the work. And I am super, super proud of her that she really pulled it off. And also with that too, just a little fact in there where people have amazing things. Sometimes people have a way of really just kind of going with the flow a bit and really always going with whatever the hottest thing is. So I'm trying to see if I can find it. Trying to see if I could find it on here because I don't think many people know that Toni Storm is the reason I watch AEW. And I'm trying to pull this up. Let me see if I can find it. Because this was back in 2022. Here we go. So this was back in 2022 with Toni Storm, and this was right after she got released from WWE because it was very messy at that time. And I got to meet her back in March because that was when everything was starting to open. And also with the fact too, there was nobody at her table. So I went over to her table. I got a photo. I still have my autograph up in my little space area. I also have had the chance to really meet her, and I told her it's gonna be fine. So I gave her a hug and parted ways. A couple days later, she was on AEW. So I didn't say Toni Storm was my client just because she's the hottest thing, but just seeing her journey when she first debuted in AEW to being part of the Outcasts to now being timeless, it's just a metamorphosis. And I am so proud of her. And I still stand by this picture to this day. I do need an updated photo. But speaking of Toni Storm, here she is. There she is. And she looks marvelous in red. Also, I have to give a cheers to timeless Toni Storm. But also I have to give a cheers to Mercedes. Because Mercedes, you did put on a match. And also I have to give a cheers to the mayor as well. But I gotta hear from my client. Let's hear her victory. Oh my goodness. Yes, you are, lady. You are still the champ. Woohoo! Woo! She's still the champ. My client. Mercedes money. And you did. Sealed it with a kiss. Woo. Oh, yes, they will go round 2. I could see round 2 with them. I would not have a problem with that. Oh, yes, Luther. Well, reattachment surgery. But she'll be fine. Oh, even the people are chanting for Luther. Oh, I love it. Let's focus on the future. Because we still got a lot of business. We have to focus on what's ahead. Yes. Athena. I know we're gonna see Athena. Ah. Oh boy. Well. Well, we know we had important business because Luther's out, injured Mina, but yes, she is. And also, we have next week, in honor of Shark Week, we have Billy Starks taking on Timeless Tony Storm. So, yes, Eddie will protect my client at all costs. And oh, we're here for the patriarchy. Well, that was, I will say, that was one of Nick Wayne's best promos because he really stood his ground. Face of TNT, I could imagine seeing him go against Dustin. And I gotta deal with this creep. I'm so done. Ugh, I'm so done with this creep. It's bad enough I already saw him. Hi, Alexis Gobb. Thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. Thank you for joining. I think it's been a solid show so far, and they did everything they needed to do. I'm very happy. Oh boy. Yay. Yes. I'm doing well, Alexis. Thank you for joining on this watch along for AEW Dynamite. And we get to see the new unified champion. And he looks like he changed his theme song. Yes, Eddie Foster. Thank you for pointing on that. So, but like I said, how funny Mary's running since I know Seth has not. I know. Ironically enough, Seth has been very quiet because he said a lot of things. But I'm here celebrating. Hi, Frederick Cole. Yes, it has been a good event so far. So I'm very, very happy. Very, very happy on that. Look, our mayor said, I'm just enjoying this. Celebration still continues, but like I said, Okada is coming in and he's facing a local person from Chicago area, which is actually nice. It does give opportunity for people who are wrestling in the independent scene some exposure. And also, I know Jacob. I know with Jacob, he kind of said this I think it was like a month or two ago on WWT, because I know a lot of people had a little bit concerned due to residency in Chicago, along with Philly, saying no be still. But I think if Hi, Xavier Skinny. Thank you for joining. Yeah, this link is StreamYard, so thank you for joining on my watch along for AEW Dynamite. But going back to my point, I think with this residency in Chicago, it's definitely going to do a lot of rotating when it comes to storylines, and hopefully it doesn't get stale. And not surprising, right there, your winner of this match is Kazuchika Okada. Eric, you wrote by that title? Oh my goodness. Well, it's not a choice there, Okada. He's the victor. Oh, we gotta hear from that creep. Oh, I don't want to listen to him. Okada's upset. He's yelling at Swerve. He called out Swerve. I know, Eddie. He called out Swerve. And we haven't seen Swerve all night. Oh, Okada's upset because he got stripped. Yes, right on spot. And Nana has his coffee. He's filled the Holy Spirit. I love it. Woo! Look at him dazzled in that suit he wore at All In over the weekend. Look at that suit. I do like that suit. He looks pretty good, clean. I wonder who designed that suit for him. He looks very sharp. And he got the shades on. And I don't think he's ever face swerved Okada. And that would be really good. Exactly. And I hate to say this, Don Callis too. Don Callis has been a solid job as a manager as a heel. So you got to give credit to Nana and Don Callis for their managerial services. Oh my God, could you imagine the interaction between Nana and Don Callis? Oh! Oh my God, Boza. Honestly, that would be the Holy Spirit for me. If Nana beat the crap out of Don Callis, that would just be forever. Oh my God. Well, ladies and gentlemen, up next, because it's 9:48, but don't be shocked because it will be an overrun. We got our main event happening. Hangman, Mark Briscoe, Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Death Riders. It's gonna be very interesting on what's next. A lot has changed since All In Texas, so very curious. Oh, you do every tape? Nice. That's nice. You buy it for $150, and good for you. You get to treat yourself in a way. But I know, Eric, WWE, the belts in WWE shop are a little bit crazy and a little bit expensive. Not sure if I would pay that kind of money for it. Not sure if I would pay that much, but we shall see on that. But, we're in our main event and almost concluding Timeless Elite Wednesday. Oh yeah, that new tribal belt. Oh my God. That's crazy, $700, especially for Roman's and tribal belt. And it's crazy. You see people putting their ones in the air, but they're not really fans of the tribal chief. And they only watch wrestling just because of one person. And that's it. That is crazy, $700. It's just, ugh, the replica of the belts, it's crazy. I mean, I don't own any replica belts of wrestling, but on my wish list, I do have a few that I would love to own. I mean, obviously, the WWE Women's Championship from the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era. That's the belt I would like to own. Obviously, from the AEW side, the Women's World Championship match, that's also something to consider. So that's on my bucket list and somewhere down the line. But we are now in our main event with the Death Riders. I'm very curious on where this is going to go with the Death Riders because I feel like there's more to this. And also with the fact, I don't think it's the world title. I think it's more than just the world title. And also, there's Marina Shafir. I still want my match. I still want Willow versus Marina Shafir. I really want that to happen. Was just searching ISPW Wrestling on Social tomorrow show. Yes, just to let you know, ISPW, because I've been following them for weeks, and I'm part of the commentary team. They will be crowning the first light heavyweight champion, and at the end of the month, they have the Legends of Wrestling, which will be in Wildwood, New York, and we have so many crazy names: Sergeant Slaughter, Jake the Snake, many others will be there. So it is so fun. I will not be on the call tomorrow, but I am part of the commentary team. And I love that I do have an opportunity to actually work in the independent scene. So that's really awesome to do and just understand the business. Not just like, the commentary side, but also like the business and the function and the mechanics of it. And it's really nice to get it behind the scenes, especially, as I mentioned, the independent scene, because a lot of our favorite wrestlers started in the independent scene. And that's what some fans tend to forget because people think like they see them on major promotions and everything else. But no, a lot of them started locally in the independent scene. So you gotta give a shout out to that. And we're seeing Mark Briscoe. I just love Mark. Mark is just a treasure and need to protect him at all costs. He has just been so fun in the singles run. And of course, we have Powerhouse Hobbs. I'm happy Hobbs has at least a taste of gold. AEW gold, by the way. I'm happy he is holding some type of gold. And there he is. We saw him earlier in the show. Your new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman Adam Page. I just hope for this reign they do him good. I know I didn't watch AEW when he had his first reign, but I just hope they do justice for this reign as well. That's what I'm hoping for. He has a good, solid reign. He doesn't screw it up, and and we see Jon Moxley still bandaged from that Texas Death Match. Still bandaged. But it's going to be an interesting trios match. I can imagine this could end in a lot of chaos. A lot of chaos, a lot of mayhem. And like I said, I feel there's a lot more to this story than a lot of people don't realize, especially with the Death Riders, because this actually wasn't about the AEW World title. It was about supremacy, control, and just pretty much taking over the business. But here we go, our main event. We're starting off with Claudio and Powerhouse Hobbs. Oh my goodness, the fans of Chicago have been so energized today. And that's been so awesome. I can't imagine how the residency is going to feel like for the next 2 weeks. The next 2 weeks, they're going to be there. But here comes the AEW World Champion, Claudio. Oh, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Hangman, beating up on Claudio. You can tell it's been a long day for me, so I'm trying to keep up the energy as I can. Hangman is staring right at Jon Moxley. Tag is made to that little runt wheeler Yuta. And also feel free to put in the chat on who you guys got winning the main event. Do you have the Death Riders, or do you have Hangman, Hobbs, and Mark Briscoe winning? Feel free to put it in the chat. Tag is made to Mark Briscoe, so he's taking care of that little runt wheeler Yuta. Ooh, nice double team by Hobbs and Mark Briscoe, because they're working very well together. Powerhouse Hobbs is somebody I would not want to mess with at all. And Moxley, he knows how Powerhouse Hobbs works, because I'll never forget the match him and Moxley had at Maximum Carnage, and it was just like, oh my god. I would love for them to take it back. But here comes Moxley. He's a little concerned. But even though the match is in picture, the match is still going on live, but we do see Hangman, Claudio and Moxley outside the ring. Remember, Marina Shafir is at ringside. I don't care. I'm still going to say this. I want Marina versus Willow. Damn it. That's what I want. They need to have a match. I mean, they've been building this up since Willow came back at Full Gear last year. We need to build it. So I'm looking at this match sheet. Mark Briscoe and Wheeler Yuta. Also, I will say July has been very quiet, because the road to All In June was very much hectic for me. I don't know how I made it past it. Back-to-back 4-hour watch-alongs, 2.5 hour stream, and then back at regular time. June was a little bit hectic, especially doing 4 hours, and then on top of that, doing a 6-hour watch-along for All in Texas. So that is crazy. I'm like breaking records over here. John will never be a face anymore. Eric Tate explained that, because to be fair, and especially with AEW, Jon Moxley is technically one of the major players within AEW, because he did come in to a new company and carried it on his back. I mean, you can make the narrative in any way you want, but he did play a major contribution on getting to where AEW, where it is today. Now, maybe the time comes he has to hang his wrestling boots, but I wouldn't mind seeing him helping out backstage, being a producer or a coach or a trainer, helping some of the younger stars within AEW try to find their voice with character development and everything else. So that's something I would see somewhere down the line for Jon Moxley, but he's one of the major players when it comes to AEW. But we are back live with her main event. We have Powerhouse Hobbs, Mark Briscoe, and the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion Hangman Adam Page taking on the Death Riders, and we see Jon Moxley, Hobbs, and I'm like, look at Hobbs. What? Why Moxley out of all people? Why Moxley would you piss off Hobbs? Know the fact you're the one that brought it to AEW, and you know him very, very well. And even Willie Muta's looking like, really? We hard to do you, man. Spit in his face. And this is what happened last time at Maximum Carnage. This is what happened. She got in his face. In Maximum. Oof, Marie Shafir kicked him. If I don't get a match with her versus Willow, I don't know what to do anymore. I really wanted that to happen. But also, when you think about it, Willow could help her conglomeration teammate, Mark Briscoe. Look at Hobbs! He should have done the same thing to Jay White. Oof, Jon Moxley has Hobbs on a chokehold. Oof. Hit Hobbs with the steel steps. And the fans are chanting to Moxley, you tapped out. That's hilarious. Well, you know, sooner or later, Willow will get her hands on her soon. Because I've been waiting for them to have a match. I'm just waiting. But here we go. Claudio doing his. Oh, goodness. And tag is made to Moxley. They are really putting on a clinic to Powerhouse Hobbs. Tag is made to Wheeler Yuta. A little runt. I know John's irate because he lost, but ooh, nice move by Powerhouse Hobbs. Tag is made to Mark Briscoe. And that is true. Mark Briscoe did suffer the rest of the conglomeration when Orange Cassidy feuded with him. He took out some of the members of the conglomerations. Oh my goodness. Mark Briscoe putting his redneck kung fu. Nice insecurity by Mark Briscoe. Oh, he's so good. How can you not like? And here comes Wheeler Yuta with the chair. This is where they need to bring Willow in, because if they take out somebody from her conglomeration, camaraderie, this is where they can bring her out, because she's it. They would say until there was a winner. They're thinking a winner break. Oh, okay. I can live with that. I'm okay. All right. We do have a break. Picture in picture. And Hangman's irate with the referee. Moxley and company are doing work on Mark Briscoe. That's what I'm saying. It would be a good opportunity for Willow to come out to help her conglomerate tag team partner in Mark Briscoe. So, and it's hard to believe we're at the main event, and this is how we have the fallout for AEW All in Texas. But I do want to thank everybody for hopping along and really enjoying all the action that happened and really switching gears because they're going to be in Chicago for the next 2 or 3 weeks for the Chicago residency. Also continuing the road to Forbidden Door that's happening next month in London, England. And also a lot of things that are happening in the world of AEW. Because I'm going to keep pushing, saying Tony Khan needs to develop more storylines within your women's division. And also, I'm very curious on what they're going to do next. Because I know Athena is gunning for my client, Tony Storm. Because, yes, I did celebrate a bit, but we have business that we have to handle with Tony. But also, you know who I would really love to see align with her? Which is completely left field. And this is somebody that she has an unorthodox rivalry with. Jamie Hayter. Because if you recall, and it's so funny, both of my clients teaming together, that would be crazy. Because I know it's with Tekla, and I know Jamie Hayter wants to get her hands on Tekla, but that would be really interesting if Jamie Hayter teamed up with Tony Storm to help her out with Athena and Billy Starks. Because they have an unorthodox story that has not been finished yet. And it would be kind of cool to see them, especially with the kind of an enemy. That would be really interesting to see. Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm. Getting somebody from left field. Or, if it's not Jamie Hayter, I could see Thunder Rosa with the fact that she was actually the last person to face Athena one-on-one. So I could see Thunder coming in there and wanting her hands on Athena. So I could see Thunder or Jamie Hayter coming into play. But looking at this, even though it's in picture-in-picture, the Death Riders are really putting in a beating on Mark Briscoe. And we are back live with our main event. Hangman Adam Page, the newly crowned AEW World Heavyweight Champion, Powerhouse Hobbs and Mark Briscoe, taking on the Death Riders with Marina Shafir at ringside. Mark Briscoe, he's trying to get to that bottom rope. Is he going to get there? Oof. Ooh, the pile driver. Oh, and here comes Claudio and Wheeler Yuta. And the referee's not looking. And I can imagine this could have ended in chaos. They just took out the damage of Powerhouse Hobbs. Trying to do a suplex, but Mark Briscoe is... Oh! Mark Briscoe is biting Moxley's head! He's biting off the spot where he had a fork drilled into him in a bloody mess. Oh my god. That is funny. Tag is made to Hangman Adam Page. And he took out Wheeler and Claudio. Oh my god, that's hilarious. If I were Marina, I would definitely stay put from Hangman, especially with the fact you did get a buckshot lariat hit. I'm just saying, he's not like other cowboys. And look at the energy from this crowd in Chicago. And I can imagine how the residency is going to be like for the end of July. especially in the summer. Ooh, Claudia made the save. And the referee, he's trying to like put some order in this match. AEW Collision. We're going to hear from the new TNT champion, Dustin Rhodes, this Saturday on Collision. So it's going to be very fun, very emotional. We're also going to see Ricochet taking on AR Fox this weekend. The Don Callis family taking on Bandino, Jet Speed, and Mascara Dorada. We're going to see Shibata taking on, oh my God, Roosh. We haven't seen Roosh in weeks. Finally, we're going to see him. All of this happening Saturday. And we're going to see Ty taking on Megan Bayne, and everybody's been from ringside. So, yeah. Oh, Alex Windsor will be taking on Taya Valkyrie this Saturday on Collision. Woo, Alex Windsor. I'm excited to see her. She might be my latest client on there too, because she's starting to grow on me, Alex Windsor. And here comes, oh God, and Moxley, he's biting Hangman's head off. Spinebuster by Hobbs. Oh, Wheeler Yuta with that kick. Mark Briscoe out of nowhere. Here comes. He goes for the buckshot, but Claudio. Oh, 2, 3. Oh, that was a quick one. So your winners of this match is Hangman Adam Page, Mark Briscoe, and Powerhouse Hobbs. So they got the victory. But I can see this ending in chaos. Here comes Moxley. You kind of knew this was going to end in chaos in a way. Because they're not done. They are not done. And Hangman knew he was going to be in this. And Rita Shafir intimidating the referee. They're really putting a beat down on that. Hangman Adam Page. Oh! 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 Oh my God! Is that Darby? He reminds me so much. That is so much of Sting. He reminds me so much of Sting. Oh my God! That's what happens when you learn under the tree of Sting. Look at Darby. He's like a dark stalker in the night. Like, you remember back in WCW when Sting was up in the rafters and when the NWO was taking over? And did he get a nose ring? So, has some huge mountains. Oh, look at Darby. And next week, my client Tony Storm will be taking on Billy Starks next week. So, that'll be interesting. Ah, Darby Allin. There he is. He's like baby Sting. Oh, it was so nice to see Darby. And you know, it's funny, the minute the Death Riders saw Darby out, they retreated. But that ends AEW Dynamite, our fallout from All In Texas, the first night of the residency in Chicago. And we're just getting started with this. And, you know, the residency in Chicago, we're on the road to Forbidden Door. So there was a lot that happened. There's a lot that happened in this match. And I'm going to do a quick post show. I'm just going to do a quick so it is true. So apparently, because I'm getting a lot of reports in regarding injuries. So Tony Schiavone has said Mina Shirokana suffered a broken hand at All In. So pretty much she alluded, so Athena alluded to the fact that Shirokana is being sidelined. So she did break her hand, and this is from Fightful, by the way. And also I did see something floating around regarding Will Ospreay. So before I give a post show, I do have a little bit of breaking news. So Will Ospreay is going to be out of action for a while because he's been dealing with physical wear and tear from his intense schedule and matches. So I don't know. There hasn't been a typeable action for Will Ospreay's return, but I'm pretty sure he will be back at Forbidden Door. So that's why. Oh, here we go. Didn't even realize that. I know Fightful reported that Red Velvet has been dealing with neck issues. Who knows how long, Mina? I know, exactly. Exactly. Like, Mina is the interim women's TV champion. We got so many wrestlers across promotions are suffering from injury bugs, from Zoe Starks to Liv to Seth to Chad Gable. Oh my goodness. To Mina, to Red Velvet. There's a lot of people that are. Jamie Hayter is hurt, so we don't know. And then Jay White, he broke his hand. Orange Cassidy tore his pectoral muscle. So there's a lot of injury bugs happening throughout all major promotions. Maybe he's also giving. Yeah, that could be it too, to help adjust with being like in AEW Ring of Honor. So at least he's going to help her kind of get adjusted to that. But just to give you a quick run through with tonight's post show, as I mentioned, we're continuing the fallout for AEW All in Texas. Hangman Adam Page kicked it off, and he said he really want to thank the fans. They deserved it, and really much thanked everybody that helped him throughout this journey, from Orange Cassidy, Jay White, Adam Copeland, The Ops, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, and Swerve Strickland. So he really did thank everybody, but it's going to be a long, long way to go for him to be, while he's AEW World Heavyweight Champion. We also did see the Young Bucks, since they're not EVPs anymore, had to arrive in an Uber. So that's going to lead into something later on. We did kick off with Kyle Fletcher taking on Mascara Dorada, and it was a really good match to continue momentum for Kyle Fletcher, and he's still going to be involved within the TNT title picture. I can sense that. So we're also going to hear from Dustin Rhodes. We're definitely going to be hearing from Dustin Rhodes, the newly TNT champion, this Saturday on Collision. So make sure to do that. We see apparently footage of the Young Bucks entering the venue, since they're not EVPs anymore, kind of getting grief by Renee, Marina Shafir, and Ricochet's new faction, but they are approached by Don Callis, who would like to work for them, even though the Young Bucks said they will never join his family, but see a partnership being beneficial to them, since Kenny Omega is quote-unquote out of the picture thanks to Don Callis and Okada, but we shall see on that. We also did get a quick backstage segment on the Hurt Syndicate. And it's funny, MVP dares legendary tag teams to step up and take the titles away and saying there's no competition. Well, it's a possibility, because, we may be getting Christian and Adam Copeland together again. I mean, FTR has been sniffing on those titles, but it's funny because here's another tag team, homegrown tag team. It's not there yet, but it will keep teasing and building. And that's my client, The Acclaimed. Because if you recall, who was the first tag team they interacted with? It was the Hurt Syndicate. But that's just something down the line. Thank you, Eric Tate, and you have a wonderful night as well. And thank you for joining on Timeless Elite Wednesday. But that's something for another day because I have to create a timeline on how that's going to work with the Acclaim's return because I suspect it's going to be 2026 by Wembley Stadium. But anyways, switching gears, we have Josh Alexander, Hechicello, and the Young Bucks with Don Callis taking on Brody King, Bandino, and Jetsby. And the winners of the match was Josh Alexander, Hechicello, and the Young Bucks. It was a really good match and just so much that happened. I really did enjoy that match. It was a lot of energy. It kept the crowd going and really did give the win to the Don Callis family to continue momentum and also the partnership between Don Callis and the Young Bucks. And hopefully, I don't know where we'll see Kenny back, but that will play a part in it as well. We also get to hear from Adam Copeland, who made his return from All In Texas this past weekend. And he said he wasn't there to help Christian, but he wanted to get revenge on FTR and really wanted to make a statement on that. And of course, that weasel Stokely had to come out and said his weapon spike is a liability, especially after the pay-per-view. And Tony Khan and Warner Brothers got 3 anonymous emails about his behavior. So pretty much that weasel said if Copeland tries to attack FTR, he's fired. But to clarify, he can't touch FTR, but he can touch Stokely. So Stokely ate a spear, and it's going to be very interesting. We also did see Mark Briscoe cut out a promo on MJF. Their rivalry is definitely something that is continued building up, and I do like to see more of that. It really makes me happy to see that happening. So I'm all in for it, and of course, you know, MJF obviously is going to have backup with the Hurt Syndicate, but Mark Briscoe got backup of his own. He got the conglomeration backing him up, so he's covered. We also did have the ladies compete in a 100K 4-way fight. Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Tekla, and Queen Amanada. It was a very good, solid performance by all 4 of these ladies. They really brought it. I mean, for me, I didn't care who won it. I know I wanted Queen Amanada to win. Nothing against Willow, but Chris Statlander and Will Nightingale had unfinished issues, so they took everything to the back. And you have both Tekla and Queen Amanada, who had bad blood with each other for the last couple weeks. And then we saw an unexpected appearance from Sky Blue and Julia Hart, where Julia Hart misted Queen Amanada, and Tekla got the win, where she is 100K richer, and we do see a possible alliance between all 3 of these ladies. So we shall see here. But my client, the timeless one, Toni Storm, she came out. She did her victory speech. She thanked Mercedes Moné for going all in with her in the match. And honestly, she did say she's open to do a rematch with her. So when the time comes, she will be ready. It's always open. And she did say her butler Luther was injured in the line of duty and had to do reattachment surgery. But we did see an appearance from the Women's Casino Gauntlet winner, Athena, and one of her minions, Billy Starks, interrupted Toni Storm, and Athena said soon she will be the forever AEW Women's World Championship. So she teases that she might use a contract and says that Toni's demise is here. And she will be ready to go. I'm very excited on what my client's going to do, because you know what? Oh, good. I think the 1,000 is after 5. I think we do. I think Athena will overlook her Ring of Honor Women's Championship. I think her contract will be the reason why she finally. Yeah. Because honestly, we all thought Thunder Rosa was going to be the one to do it, but I guess not. And also, I don't even know who would challenge her at Death Before Dishonor. That's another question to have. And I would like to be against somebody that she never faced, or at least expected to lose. But a time will come. A time will come into place. But my client, the Timeless One, is ready for anybody. I know she doesn't have Mina because she broke her hand. Luther was injured as well. But my client, Toni Storm, will be ready. No matter what. She will be ready to go, and she said it like this.
I will be ready. I will be sweaty. I am here and I am queer, and I will always be timeless.
The Women's World Champion on the boardwalk with Luther.
I just love that clip. And I was at that collision too in Atlantic City. That's one of my favorite clips of her. I never get tired of that. It could be. It could be a possibility. Athena issuing an open challenge. I know she did face Alex Windsor back in Australia. But hey, I could see round 2 with Alex Windsor. That could be really something as well. But yes, Toni Storm will be facing off against one of Athena's minions, Billy Starks, which it would be ready to go. We also hired for the Patriarchy, who turned on Christian Cage over this weekend. But pretty much, instead of Patriarchy, we have a Matriarchy with Mother Wayne. And I will say that was one of Nick Wayne's best promos. Especially for him to be that young. He really put on a promo saying he is the face of TNT. Now, that could be another contender for the TNT Championship, but we shall see. Yeah, Mother Wayne. You said it right, Boza. You said it right. But we shall see on where this is going to go. And who knows when we will see Christian back. We also got to see Okada have a match alongside that Creep Don Callis. He put on a clinic on a local wrestler in the Chicago area. After the match, Okada gets on the microphone and calls out Swerve Strickland, where he screwed his friends, the Young Bucks, and this brings out Swerve and Nana. And Swerve said he did do that and wants to know what Okada is going to do about it. Calling him a bitch. I was like, oh my God. And Don Callis and Okada back down and leave when they saw Swerve. Oh my goodness. But we have our main event. Hangman Adam Page, Mark Briscoe, and Powerhouse Hobbs taking on the Death Riders with Marina Shafir at ringside. It was a good, solid main event. It really got the crowd on their feet, and they were not bored. They were not bored, and very happy to see the winner of the match was Hangman, Powerhouse, and Mark Briscoe. But of course, I thought we were going to see another beatdown of the Death Riders because they were still pissed off from this past weekend. But as I mentioned, there is a lot more story to tell. And we also got to see a surprise appearance from Darby Allin. Darby Allin seems to be stalking the Death Riders. And that man ain't dead. And he just climbed Mount Everest. So you can't knock him for anything that he does. So that's going to be very interesting to see Darby Allin stalking the Death Riders at their every move. But he's ready. He wants revenge. And also on the Raptors, he reminded me so much of Sting. But obviously, of course, he teamed up with Sting during Sting's retirement run. So I'm pretty sure Sting is so proud of him and happy for him. Seeing his buddy Darby Allin in the works, but good to see Darby back. Hopefully we get to see another appearance for Bryan Danielson, because we did see him at All in Texas, but if he has to do part-time, then he has to do part-time. But solid episode of AEW Dynamite all around. I give it a 9 out of 10. It was a solid episode. They did what they needed to do to recover from All in Texas, kick off their residency in Chicago, and also begin the road to Forbidden Door. So it really did what it needed to do, 9 out of 10, and really did a solid one. And I'm very excited because these next couple watch-alongs, we're going to be in Chicago. So, but thank you for joining me on this weekly edition of Timeless Elite Wednesday with me, Courtney Rice, your PR princess, your Timeless Elite, whatever you want to call me. I'm just so happy to be with all of you. Have to give a shout out to a lot of people that came to chat. Shout out to Eric Tate, Eddie Foster, Boza, Roland Byard, Tommy T jumped in for a little bit. Lionel Clark jumped in. I'm trying to see who else. Maria, thank you for jumping in on this. Trying to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Alexis Galby, thank you for joining. So I do want to give a shout out to everybody for joining on this weekly edition of Timeless Elite Wednesday. You make sure to follow me on @CourtneyNJ11 on the socials, because I do have some content. Make sure to check out my latest content with my client, Tony Storm. And I'll be posting a lot more content in the coming days, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure to follow ISPW Wrestling, because yours truly is on the commentary team, and you don't know where I will be popping up. So feel free to do that. Make sure to follow WWT on socials all across the platforms, because we are doing amazing things. And definitely want to give a shout out to the entire team at WWT, because like I said, even though it's been me and Boss Lady these last couple of weeks, hey, we're continuing to keep moving the muscle. So hopefully we get the rest of the team back. We get the rest of them back soon, because you know, it's always fun. It's always fun when they're there. But, you know, myself and Boss Lady, we've been holding down the fort and doing everything we can. Also, shout outs to my siblings doing the Kayfabe podcast for all the work that they've done. So definitely want to give a shout out to them. Make sure to check out the episode they did on Monday. It was really fun, even though they don't watch AEW, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, thank you guys for joining on this weekly edition of Timeless Elite Wednesday. We just kicked off residency in Chicago, and we'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, and make sure to follow Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Have a good evening, be safe, and stay cool.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WWTalkpod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.